This podcast is brought to you from our sponsors. Hey guys, if you have not heard about Anchor, it's a free way to make a podcast anywhere and at any time. And guess what? It's free 99. There are all types of built-in creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on a multitude of platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Now, I know what you may be thinking, but Brandon, why in the world would I create a podcast? Okay, so let me tell you. First of all, it starts with an M and it ends with a Y. It's called money. So why would you be asking me why you don't want to make money? Yes, I said it because you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So there you go. Stop thinking about it and just download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I did, and so can you. All right, guys, welcome to the show. Real quick, today's topic is about learning to control your anger, having patience, not every day. And I mean, this can apply to business, but on this podcast, one of the things that I want to emphasize is that we talk about a little bit about everything. I just had an interesting interview that you guys will get the opportunity to hear on Wednesday. I had a very interesting talk with retired Colonel Bass. She is a professional, in my view, a professional writer. She knows how to help individuals learn how to effectively write their works out. Whether it doesn't matter if it's a resume, it's a book. She shows you how to write more precisely and have and choose your words a lot more. And I'm losing the words right now because ever since I've had that conversation with her, trying to be less wordy and get to the point. So today we're going to be talking about learning to control your anger in business, in life. We talk about a multitude of things. We talk about leadership. So first things first, to really drive home this point of why you should learn how to control your anger, I want to share a story with you, right? So there once was a little boy who had a very bad temper. His father decided to hand him a bag of nails and said that every time the boy lost his temper, he had to hammer a nail into the fence. On the first day, the boy hammered 37 nails into the fence. The boy gradually began to control his temper over the next few weeks. The number of nails that he was hammering into the fence slowly decreased. He discovered it was easier to control his temper than it is to hammer those nails into the fence. Finally, the day came when the boy didn't lose his temper at all. He told his father the news, and the father suggested that the boy should now pull out a nail every day he kept his temper under control. The days passed, and the young boy was finally able to tell his father that all the nails were gone. The father took his son by the hand and led him to the fence. "You have done well, my son. But look at the holes in the fence. The fence will never be the same. When you say things in anger, they leave a scar just like this one. You can put a knife in a man and draw it out. It won't matter how many times you say I'm sorry. The wound is still there." The moral of the story is control your anger and don't say things to people in the heat of the moment that you may later regret. Some things in life are unable to take back, and some things in business are unable to take back. So the principle here is good judgment. And sometimes it takes a while for us to have good judgment, or we may have good judgment in certain parts of our life, but lack good judgment in other parts of our life. These are the constant struggles that each and every one of us face on an everyday basis. right? Some of us have a real good grasp on financial situations. We know how to make our money work for us. We grow vast amounts of money and fortunes, while others of us continue to struggle, right? Because they have a control over that aspect of their life. Now, that does not mean to say that because you have a lot of money, you have control over your finances, that you're going to have control over your emotions or different areas of your life. So oftentimes you can have someone that has a lot of money but not be happy. But more times than often, you're going to find a person that's usually they're happy, and it really is derived from success. If you're successful, money is one of those indicators. Like, you're successful, you're doing real good, therefore money is attracted to you, right? But once again, it all comes back down to what things that you have under control. So anger is one of those things that if we don't have that under control, it can cost us more than what we're willing to pay further down the road. If you're a person that suffers with anger problems, it can cost you relationships. It can cost you friendships because you're very impulsive and you say things that under normal circumstances you may not say, but because you are upset at that moment, you say things that you later on regret. And like the story, you can, once you act out in those angry moments, it's like driving that nail into the fence, right? You can take the nail away and you can say, I'm sorry, but the scars are still there. So oftentimes I always share this. I'm like, the worst thing in the world is for you to be who you are today, but have to consistently pay for who you were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And especially if that person may not necessarily be a good person or didn't make good decisions, right? And we hate that we've evolved as a person, but yet, in fact, we still have to pay for what we've done. We see it in the correction model, where people are come back into society and they're treated differently, which ultimately has a propensity to lead them back in the same life that they came from, because now that they are thinking different and willing to do things different, no one's giving them an opportunity because of their past. So those are things to consider. So when we don't have control over ourselves, our emotions, our business, our ideas, right? And oftentimes a lot of that comes from this being unorganized, right? So it's something as simple as you have an idea, but because you don't write it out, then you forget about it, or you remember parts and pieces of it. Now you get upset, right? And now you say, well, you're not as good, or, I just can never get it right. Well, because you're not doing the principles of little things. It's not the big things that's hurting you right now. Some people it may be, right? I don't know you to say exactly, right? I'm just speculating here, just from my experience, that most of the things that I had to get correct in my life weren't real huge things. They were very small things. But if you get a bunch of small things not going in the right direction, ultimately what happens is that things start to crumble, right? Because it starts decaying away because you got a little bit of everything going on, and it may not be, for the most part, running at the best efficient way. So that leads to setbacks and things putting you back. It's not the big things, not the idea creations. It's about getting the project done, right? How soon can you take the idea to turn it into a product and getting it out? That's been like the strongest barrier for me. And then what happens then, I get angry and then I start second guessing myself. So when we're talking about controlling anger, we're also talking about how we look at ourselves, right? A lot of times we get angry because of things we wish we had done that will put us in a better position now. So now we're angry because of that, or we're angry because we're comparing ourselves to other people. Well, if I stayed in school, I would be like so-and-so. If I went into business, I would have been where so-and-so is at. If I never quit that company, look where I could have been. So then there's anger and resentment that's formed around that. So as a business owner, as a person in general, if you can't control those emotions, right, that's inside of you, it leads to a place of emptiness that doesn't refuel you, and it doesn't take you to the heights that you need to be, because you have no laser focus on what needs to get accomplished. You're only, presenting anger based upon your past experiences, based upon your shortcomings or things you did and you wish you hadn't, or things that, you wish you'd never done or thought about in the first place. So there's all different sides of that argument, but understanding where it's coming from could help you, light years, knowing where something stems from, knowing why your anger is there, right? And identifying, well, why am I hating something? And, maybe I should name the show Stop Being a Hater, right? Because there's a reason why some people are haters, and just to think about it, I was looking at something that kind of brought the idea to my mind, and it's the idea that people hate on things that they've quit. So if someone's hating on you because you started your business or whatever the case may be, they're hating because they quit. They may have started a business, and and before I even dive into that, let's go to a quick commercial break, because I want to give that the time. And I know we're running out of time. So I want to give that the attention that topic, needs. When we come back, we're still going to be talking about controlling your temper, but this thing has really evolved to controlling your emotions and really stop being a hater, right? And a lot of people are going to be like, what do you mean? I'm not a hater, right? We all are haters, right? And there's reasons why we're haters. It's okay. Right, we're haters for certain reasons. Some people looking like, I gotta hear this mess, because I know he's not saying I'm a hater. Because I know for a fact I'm not a hater. But in fact, you may be a straight up certified, put a stamp on you hater. And we're gonna find out when we come back why you are a hater. Right? Why is it that you have some of the feelings and emotions, and you can learn how to control that? It'll take you light years because you're focusing on the wrong thing. So after we come back after this quick commercial break, we're going to talk about stop being a hater. Hey guys, real quick, I got a question for you. Have you ever wanted to be a risk taker? I mean, wanted to invest in yourself so bad, but just didn't know where to start, who to ask, how to move? Have you ever just wanted to share your story, lessons that you've learned along the way, or perhaps some sort of trauma you've witnessed, or went through yourself, and you know that if you were to share that story, that testimony that you have within yourself, that it would be able to free some people, would be able to help some people to go help them get through whatever it is that they're going through right now. But you feel as if you really and truly don't have a voice. How many people right now feel the same way, that they don't have a voice? But maybe if you're strong enough to step up to the plate, you don't know how many hundreds, thousands, or even millions. See, someone looked at President Obama, someone looked at Martin Luther King, and they believed them. And when that person said that to them, they actually believed that they could do it. So I'm challenging you and telling you, I believe that you can do it, because so many people take their story of triumph over adversity to the grave, never to be exhumed. And I don't want that to happen to you, and I refuse to let it happen to me. They always say the quickest way to find your purpose is to get around people that have found theirs. So right now, I challenge you to give us an opportunity to help you share your story with the world, if you so dare to step up to the plate. I don't care if it's fiction, nonfiction, drama, business, leadership, poetry, memoirs, you name it. There's a place for you here at Pinnacle Point Publishing. So connect with us online at www.pinnaclepointpublishing.com or give us a call at 1-866-222-3940. And back to the show. Here we go. All right, guys, we're back from that commercial break. I hope you enjoyed the segment. So if you're just now joining us, the topic of the day is learning to control your emotions. We started talking with anger, but it's obviously evolved to something totally manifested as something different, which is great. The last thing we were just talking about is stop being a hater. And most people don't want to say that they're a hater, but there's a reason why you're hating. And then I'm like, what? Right? I'm not hating, but we got to understand what that means, right? And I'm not saying that to insult you, but understanding what a hater is. 9 times out of 10, you hate something because you quit it, right? It is, you've learned something from it, or you may have learned something about yourself from it, something that you don't like or identify with, So oftentimes when people hate on your business, they're hating on you, right? And you're upset because people are hating on you, because you're in business for yourself, and they don't understand that, and they give you a lot of flack. So when people give you flack, that's hating. Why you have so much to say, you wouldn't say that while, was up the street working at Burger King. It was okay for me just to not dream and have hopes. Burger King's cool, but now that I want to work for myself, now you hating on me. And a part of that is because they see that creating a business can be great. But when people have quit themselves on things, they begin to hate it. So it's not necessarily they're hating on you, they're hating on the idea of what you think that you can accomplish, right? And oftentimes we as people, we hate on others because they're doing something that we may have given up on ourselves, that we didn't see ourselves doing. We wanted it, but we couldn't see what actions or what strategies we had to put in place. So we put that on the back burner, all right? Or we took that thing off the stove altogether. So now we're faced with that reality in front of us, and we say, man, who do you think he is? Who she thinks she is, right? To start that business. I had that idea 10 years ago. I would have done it this way. I would have done it that way, right? Some people say that's not hating, but it is. You should be wanting to be happy for that person. But if you're not happy for that person and kind of low-key, we call it low-key hate, it's because you're upset. Now, this is my opinion, right? This is just my opinion, right? Leave comments if you feel different. This is my opinion. My opinion is that you're hating. These emotions are coming out of you is because a part of what they're doing or what they're about reminds you of something you put away, something that you gave up on years ago. Because if you wasn't hating, you'd be trying to get yourself to that level or above, right? But you're hating because you see this person doing something that you gave up a long time ago. Here's the part of having control of those emotions and understanding that the situation is a situation. You may not be able to change that. Understand that the emotions are real, that you're feeling. If you're feeling pain, you're feeling frustration, you're feeling like you're overwhelmed. Those are real emotions. Get it? But learning how to control that to the extent that you're not making irrational decisions as a result of how you feel, because you ultimately know the blueprint. You already know where you're going, the trajectory that you're going. And if you're not able to really figure that out and dive deep into that idea of understanding, I have to have control so that I can make the right decisions. Because being a hater, you're taking energy comparing yourself and getting upset with yourself about things that you've given up on, and now you see someone else doing it. Use that energy to bring life back into the idea that, yeah, you may not have done that 3 years ago or 5 years ago, but because you sat on someone's seen it and he did it. So now you know that the idea that you had is valid, right? You know that it's valid because you've seen someone implement it. The only difference is they did it and you didn't. How do you change that after that point? The only difference between you and that person is that they got the idea and did something with it. You had the idea and didn't do nothing with it. But if you had done it, you had just as much chance of making it as he or she did. Just by having that control in your mindset, your thinking, right? Not negating the fact of everything else is going on in your life right now. Not taking that off the table and saying, let's throw that to the wind and just think positive. This is how you make the journey bearable. So instead of taking something and living with that and say, oh, that's an utter failure. If I had done that, I would have been there, this, that, and the third. Well, how do I do it now? Or what other idea do I have that I can implement and this time really go forward with it? Instead of reflecting on what I should have done years ago that someone else has already done. What can I do at this point? Is there going to be another opportunity that I'm going to miss as a result of me not being in control of my emotions and not getting so involved with what's going on now and all the situations that's going on now and making that a precursor to where my life is at? Because ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, I'm telling you straight up, your life is not dependent on what you see right now, right? It's really not. Is how you're thinking right now is going to determine what your future is going to look like, not what you're going through. People have been going through mess for the whole major part of their life, and then just because they changed their thinking, situations started changing for them, right? Their thinking changed. Now, thinking comes not just thinking about it, but actually implementing actions and taking actions, right? Massive imperfect action, that is, right? Not just action just for the sake of taking action, but massive imperfect action, a strategic, right? It's not going to be perfect. We talked about that on a previous show. Nothing is perfect, right? It's never going to be perfect. And in order for something to be perfect, you got to put it out. And it can never be perfect. So when you say something has to be perfect in order for you to put it out, it's an absurdity, because now you're trying to trick yourself into never putting it out. There's always something you could have done differently. You could have chose a word differently. You could have moved a different part of the stage differently. You could have cut a camera angle differently. It's a multitude of things could have been done differently that you can say, well, that would have been perfect if it went that way. And then when you try to do it that way, you're going to say, well, I missed this and this could have been. So it's never, ever going to be perfect. Just go ahead and do it. Let other people tell you no. Stop telling yourself no, because in order for you to grow, you got to hear no. In order for you to grow, you got to hear no. Write it down. In order for you to grow, you must hear no. That's going to lead you to the success. Because for just as many no's you're going to get, eventually you're going to get yes. When you see someone out in the world and they're doing great and magnificent things, you're like, oh my God, they got the life, they got the car, they got whatever it is, whatever it is that you look for inspiration. When you look at that person, right? And you see the success that they have now. I'm telling you, those success don't even come close to the amount of no's that they heard. But in order for them to hear the yes, they had to go through the no. So if you're afraid of the no, you don't have control of your emotions. They say, look, I got to get past this no in order to get a yes. Eventually, enough people tell me no, I'm going to start hearing yes, but I got to go through the no to get to the yes. They were willing, the person that you see living a life, they're willing to keep getting the no's until someone finally told them yes, because it only takes a few of the yeses for you to be exactly where you want to be in your life. Now, that's not me just saying it just because it sounds good. It's the truth. It's a universal truth. I think it should be a written law, right? At least in our spirits and our minds, that if we understand that can revolutionize our life. Is that we just, the difference between winning and losing, 99% of it is just hearing no's enough time. Like, how many times you gonna go to the Olympic without bringing the gold? But in order for you to even be to put your name in the hat, you gotta train. You gotta do things that's gonna get you there. You're running out of time now. There's people they're the oldest person to ever hit the Olympics and they won the gold medal. Right? How many times do people tell them, no, you're too old? Is there a rule that says I can't do it? Well, no, but you're too old. They kept hearing no, 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 no. And then when they were given the opportunity, all the preparation they put into it, all the heart and tenacity that they had, even when everyone else said no, through their work, energy, effort, they told everyone yes. When are you going to be able to tell people yes? Yes, I did it. Despite all the adversity that I was facing. Yes, I believed in myself. Yes, I know I am capable of doing it. Yes, nobody's going to stop me. This is my thing. I feel it in my spirit. It's not just about passion, but there's certain things for a fact, like you are good at it. What is it? Let me put that in front of people. Let me see what it can bring me back. Yes. So what they tell me no. So what they turn me down. So what they turn my speaker packet away. So what? So what I didn't get that speaking engagement. So what? They didn't have enough people anyway, right? I didn't want to smell mothballs and halls. Lozenges. So what? Right? You gotta learn to say so what. That's a part of the process. Keep hearing the no's. Eventually, you're gonna hear a yes. But staying in the game is everything. Stay in the game. Learn how to control those emotions. Those things are going to ultimately set you up for success. And once you do certain things in your life or in your business, it's hard to come back. Those scars will be permanently there. Doing bad business leave permanent scars, right? You don't want to do that. You want to be very mindful of these things because these things can be really controlling a big part of your life and it's stopping you from reaching the amount of success that you want to because you're using these as crutches. And every time you lean on them, you get weaker in really finding out who it is you are and what exactly it is that you want. Right? Like just the other day, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I was like, man, when's the last time I've been on the water? When's the last time I've been on a boat? I love boating. When's the last time I've done it? Right? Is that something that I love? Yes. So why aren't you doing it? That's how you get back to you. People are like, oh, what's the instructions? What's the instructions on a it's a homework assignment. Getting to know the person that you stay with. Like you're in you. That's not a homework assignment. What is it that you like? You want to get back to you and figuring out what excites you, right? If you want to do certain things, there's something that excites you and it may come with a dollar amount. It may cost money to do it. So now you're forced to come up with new ways on creating additional income so you can be a part of the things that make you happy. That's a part of controlling those emotions, because now you're not as stressed. You're like, wow, I got something that I'm aiming for. I know why I'm doing it. It excites me, right? I'm also into electric skateboards, right? The little powered skateboards. I'm into those things. I love those things, right? Why haven't I got one yet, right? Those are the things like, okay, these are things that I want to do. And what ideas can come out of me going back to me? Doing things that I enjoy, that makes me happy, that brings back memories of a better time, of just a different time. Not necessarily better, but just a different time. Those feelings and emotions can only be brought out of me when I'm happy and I'm enjoying and I'm able to control my emotions, my feelings. And I believe, my personal opinion, you'll be able to feel and enjoy yourself a lot more doing the things that you care about, doing the things that you love, despite what other people think. So what, you think that's freaking nerdish or that's a clown? I don't care. Get to the point you stop caring about what other people think, right? People need to be more concerned about what you have as far as an experience to give them, not, this person likes to do X, Y, Z. I want to go skiing. I've never been skiing a day in my life, and I want to do it. Never done it, but I want to do it. Just for me. I'm not doing it for the sake of being different, to say, oh, I'm different. I want to do that. No, I just want to do it because I want to do it. I think it's cool. I think skiing is cool. I think hockey is freaking cool, right? I want to be in a semi-professional capacity somewhere. I wish I could do that, right? Or I can say, I can stop wishing and I could get a pair of rollerblades and I could start getting equipment and I can start working out and I actually can see what the process is to try out. But wishing to do it and actually doing something about it, to different things. So now, wouldn't that be cool? Me talking about this now and then, on a vlog showing me hockey and maybe going out for a team and see what happens, right? I'm not afraid of the challenge. It's something to me that's different, and I'm willing to try. So, be willing to try different things to put you in a different zone. We talked about that last week, about using that creative part of your brain, tapping back into that. New ideas will come. And man, most importantly today, stop being a hater and learn to control those emotions, because those things could be steering you in the wrong direction. Hey guys, real quick, right before we end the show, we're going to go right into the part where we really reflect and think about today. What is today? Today is a gift. There will be no other day like this. Remember this, there will never be another day like this. It will never be the same way. There's so many things changing. Today is a new day. What new thing are you going to give to this world? What new thing are you willing to do in order to change you and those around you in a positive way? You woke up this morning, you were blessed with two precious gifts. Your eyes opening, your consciousness coming awake, right? Everyone that listens to this may not have eyes to see, right? Your consciousness is opening up. Your ears are opening up. The vibrations, you're emitting vibrations, they are coming up, right? What are you going to do on this new day? A day that will be like no other. This is a new day. We don't know what's going to happen on this day, but we do know how we're going to contribute to it this day. Make that decision. Go out and make a difference. I challenge you. If you like this, please share it. Hello all, thank you for tuning in to another motivational show. I hope that You may have gained some insight from this show, but please don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay up to date with our daily dose of inspiration. And if you are a true risk taker and a fan of this show, please go to patreon.com/Creators United. That's Patreon, patreon.com/Creators United, right? And support our show and get some behind the scenes information on how you can empower yourself, your family, and your business to new heights. And if you want to connect, we are available 24/7. You can check us out online at www.pinnaclepointpublishing.com, and you can chat with us or send us an email, or you can send me a direct email at brandon@pinnaclepointpublishing.com, or even give us a call on the horn, as they say, at 1-866-222-3940. And until next time, I'll see you again.